Hello students, welcome to English class. I hope you all are doing well. So students, in today's English class we are going to read our next chapter of literature, that is A Farmer's Greatest Treasure. Okay, so before starting the chapter, let us discuss about the writer. So this chapter is written by Hema Pandey. Okay, so Hema Pandey was born in Bharatpur, Rajasthan. She went to Japan initially to learn Japanese painting. She studied Japanese in Kolkata and found it extremely interesting, especially Japanese children's literature, their traditional folk tales. Okay, her interest eventually inspired her to translate some of them into English and Hindi. So let us begin with our chapter. Okay, so we are hungry. What shall we eat? There is nothing anywhere. All over the village, people were in distress. How gaunt and haggard they had all become. With drawn faces and trembling legs, they walked around digging for roots, searching for wild berries to control their hunger. So now the story is about a village suffering from lack of food. They were in painful situation all over the village. How gaunt and haggard. So they had all become. So because of the lack of food, they had nothing to eat. They became very thin gaunt, very thin. So gaunt means very thin because of lack of food, and haggard means they were very ill and tired because they all were suffering. They didn't have any food to eat. With drawn faces means their face looked like as they were very tired or ill, and trembling legs means as if they were affected some with great fear. Okay, so trembling means affected with great fear. They walked around digging the roots means they were digging and looking for roots. Maybe they were find some roots, searching for wild berries to control their hunger. They wanted something to eat, that's why they were digging the soil, digging for roots. Okay, now it had been such a bad year. Just when the wheat was ripening yellow and tall, it had rained heavily every day. Although the farmers tried to save all they could, much of the golden wheat had turned black and rotted away. So now what had happened during that year? It was such a bad year when the wheat was ripening. Ripening means when it about to grow or to become ripe. Just because of the rain, the wheat was rotted away, and the farmers tried their best to save the wheat. But because of the rain, wheat turned black and rotted away. Rotted means to decay. It was decayed. Okay. Now, when it was time to plant the rice seedlings, the rains stopped completely. Not a drop of rain fell. The tender green stalks shriveled up, and insects ate up the rest. Now, what happened? It was time to plant the rice seedlings. Seedlings means plants which needs a lot of water, and wheat is the plant. If it will rain during the wheat plant vegetation, it can decay the whole wheat, and when the rice seedlings were planted, the rains stopped completely. Rice demand a lot of water, but when they planted rice, not a drop of rain fell. So what happened? The tender green stalks. Stalks means it's a stem, a part of a plant. Okay. So now shriveled up means dried up, and rest of whatever was left, it was ate by the insects. Okay. So moving further. So when autumn came, there was neither wheat nor rice in all the villages for miles around, and the people were starving. So now what happened? The autumn came. This was neither wheat autumn came, there was neither wheat nor rice. In all the villages, they all were so hungry. They didn't have either wheat or rice to eat. Okay? Now, in one of the worst affected villages, there lived a farmer affectionately called Mosha's son. His wife and son Aishu tried to manage as best as they could. So now what happened? Now in all the villages there were the same problem. People have nothing to eat. They didn't have rice to eat. Okay? Now one day Aishu bent inside their empty barn that once used to overflow with grain, searching for a shovel to dig for roots. He looked here and there, but not finding it, went further inside, groping about in the dark. He suddenly stumbled against something large and heavy. Now, one day Aisu went in their empty barn. Barn means it's a large building or the storage of farm products where farmers they keep their farming products. It's a large building for the storage of those products. And he was searching for a shovel to dig out something. So he looked here and there, but he could not find the shovel, and he further went inside. Now what happened? When he was going inside, groping means feeling with hands, especially when nothing can be seen easily. When he was not able to see with his eyes, he was trying to find out with his hands. Okay? So then he stumbled, means when he was finding that he found something, he pushed his hands, then obstacle, he could feel something that was very large and heavy. Okay? Now, Era, what's this? He cried, astonished on discovering a big full sack. Opening it, he pushed his hand inside. Now he said that Era, he said it very loudly. Astonished means he was very surprised. He found there is a full sack. He opened and he pushed his hand inside. Now, wheat, he shouted, thrilled and amazed, as large grains of wheat slipped through his fingers. So, now what happened? He could feel that. He could feel the wheat. He could feel that wheat was there. He shouted loudly. Now, father must have forgotten that he had a huge sack full of the finest wheat stored away in the barn. Thought, a delight, Aisu, now we needn't go hungry, at least for a few days. Oh, what a feast there will be tonight. Now, Aisu, he was very happy and he said that we will not be hungry at least for a few days. And now he was thinking that feast means plenty of food. He was thinking that finally today we'll have plenty of food. Okay. Now Aisu ran to his father. So now he quickly ran to his father. Okay. Now father, he shouted joyously, he have just found the sack of wheat you stored in the barn and forgot. Let's grind it at once. We can eat well for some days at least. So now, no, he told to his father, now he told to his father, okay, at least we will have some food to eat for a few days because we don't have anything right now, okay. Now, Moshe sprang up quickly. No, Aisu, not that wheat, he cried, pulling his son's arm. Listen to me, no matter what happens, the grain must never be touched. I had deliberately stored away my best wheat to the used for showing the next crop. Those are grain seeds, Aisu. Now he said deliberately. Deliberately means to do something that is already planned. Means He knew that he already knew that is something like this happened. We must have wheat, and he did it on purpose. He stored away his best wheat to the used for showing the next crop, so that whenever next season will come to grow the crops of wheat, we can use that can sow finest wheat that time. Okay, children. So we had read the lesson. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you. And our next portion will discuss in our next video. Okay.